So welcome to the first Saturday video of 2025, and it's going to be in the T-10. Now these videos are voted for by my channel members on YouTube, and that will then give them a week early access before it goes to public release. And now starting with the new year, I'm also going to be incorporating how the tank sits in the current performance via looking at Tomato GG for the past 30 days, and that will be on the EU server. But I will also take into consideration 3 different loadouts. There's going to be what I will call the normal loadout, which is something similar to this, where we have a mix of AP, APCR, or premium rounds and standard rounds. And then we have kind of the normal standard loadout. And then we also will go for the Peasant loadout, where we'll have no premium rounds, and we'll also use an automatic fire extinguisher. And then we'll go for the true tryhard loadout as well. Now, because some of you have probably noticed this is on Big Noober, currently my press account I don't have access to, and my main account doesn't have a T10. And I could buy a T10, however, I don't particularly want to just buy it just for one video. So instead, I bought a T10 on this account just for one video, and then I paid gold to then retrain a crew for my 277 as well. But this account I don't really care too much about. And for upcoming videos, I will be incorporating the equipment into the consideration for the loadout as well. But for this, because I don't really have the resources to change everything, it won't be in this video. So for example, upcoming tanks will have, say the Peasant loadout will have nothing but standard equipment. The normal loadout might have one bit of bounty equipment for the one that can't be used in the slot, for example. And then the tryhard one will have nothing but bounty equipment or even some bond equipment if I choose to put it on a tank. And this will hopefully give you an idea of how the tank performs for whoever may be watching this video. Field mods will also play into consideration for upcoming videos. However, at the moment, I don't have any field mods because I marked this tank before, I think I marked this tank before even field mods were a thing. Anyway, enough of that. Hopefully you had a very good new year, and let's begin by looking at Tomato GG. Okay, so now we're at Tomato GG, where we can see the tank performance for the past 30 days on the EU server, the NA server, and also the Asia server. However, the main one that we want to be looking at is the EU server. Now, if we go to tier 9 and we go to heavy tanks, you will see that the T10 has 205,484 games played in the past 30 days. So it is quite popular. It's just below the 752. It's nowhere close to being what the Toro is, although that is obviously gained a lot of popularity by being a loot box this season. So that's only been out for a month, so a lot of people want to play it. But the Phase 1, by far, the most played heavy tank at tier 9. With good reason, it's probably the best one that you can get out of the token vehicles, and a lot of people will play it. The Toro obviously just above it, but then again, it's brand new. We're going to have to wait a few months to see how that lies. But out of the just tech tree tanks, you'll see that it's, what, 5th? 6th. 6th overall, just below the 50 TP. However, the win rate difference is minus 1.1%, which means that on average, if you have a 48.5% win rate, you're actually going to gain a 47.4% win rate. Now, win rate difference is one of those things where you need to take into consideration because this basically dictates usually how well the tank performs. That, along with average damage, and then can take into consideration the amount of games played, is how you can work out if a tank is overperforming or underperforming. So if we do look at the win rate difference and look at the worst culprits, you'll see that this is actually so far down the list. And considering a lot of people are playing this tank as well, on average, people are just not doing very well in it. And if we look at the average damage as well, that is not looking so great, again, right down the bottom. So overall, statistically speaking, this is not a very good vehicle, at least according to what people are doing in the tank. And Marks of Excellence also reflects this too. This tank is only at 2.9 to actually free market, which is extremely low for a heavy tank. As you can see, the Type 4 Heavy, the M6Y, the 257 are the only ones below it. This is the 4th easiest tank to mark for a heavy tank at tier 9. Although I say easiest just because the requirement is low doesn't actually mean that it's easy, because usually when the requirement is low, the tank itself is not very good. And if we actually exclude the heavy tank entirely and just go for tier 9s, you'll see that it is not really that far from the bottom. So statistically speaking, this tank is not great. It's not very nice to play, according to the stats, if you were just to look at it from that point of view. However, I think that this is one of the nicest tanks to play at tier 9. I feel like a lot of people don't like this vehicle or struggle with this vehicle because it doesn't really fit into the heavy tank role. I feel like this tank does very, very well in preparing you for what you're about to get with the 277. Because this is almost like a mini 277. It's fast, reliable enough turret, but the main problem with this tank is the gun depression. 5 degrees is not very nice. So for the equipment setup, we are going to be using hardening, rammer, and stab. I don't feel like you can get rid of the stab because the dispersion values are really not that great. And especially considering you're going to be moving a lot in this vehicle, the stab is really going to help you out. You go at 50, and that is actually 50 across all terrain types apart from swamp. Because as we can see here, effective top speed, and this is without any equipment or anything like that, you're going 50 on hard and medium, so you're good in that regard. Power to weight being 15 is fine for a heavy tank. It's not absolutely rapid. It's pretty fast for a heavy tank, to be fair, but it's not absolutely rapid to be like a medium tank. You know, if you were approaching, say, something like 20, you'd be very, very fast. But 15, somewhere in the middle, it's a nice sweet spot regarding power to weight. And just quickly speaking about the dispersion factors, as you can see here, the moving and tank traverse is why I want stab, because the amount of time you are going to be moving is really, really needed. Turret dispersion is really good, but you need stab for the other two. Anyway, as I said, we're going to be playing 3 different loadouts, starting out with the standard loadout, which is what I think most people would choose, which is roughly 50-50 of the AP and the heat. Obviously, you personally could change it up. You could go for 15-12 or even, you know, something like that, whatever it might be. I'm just going to stick with this. It shouldn't really matter too much. Let's go. Let's get going. Okay, so there's a few different options that you can do on Mountain Pass. Now, obviously, there is going across the bridge at the start, which maybe that's viable. Yes, we are more than fast enough. However, I'm going to go down to the ice road. The reason being is that I just prefer playing it. It offers a little bit more stability overall, because you can then afford to go to different places. If you then get stuck over the bridge, for example, you're not getting back. Especially if they push up the ice road, you're definitely not getting back from there. Or if they occupy the mid, you're not going to do that. So what we're going to do is just play along here, not block the 114, and just go and sit on here at a place where we can then get shots at people. I also need to change that. There we go. Make the gun sounds a little bit more meaty. We're never penning that. Heat would have, but we're not going to pen that like that. And maybe we'll put one into you if we get lucky. Lovely. 490 alpha, massive high roll. This is a 440 alpha as standard. Obviously, you can boost that up with perks like Armorer and stuff like that. The perks and stuff of that nature, I'm not going to worry about too much regarding changing a lot of. Wow. Okay. Some of these shots are really hitting. Not that one, though. You take a shot from that, that's not too bad. Yeah, the perks and stuff, I'm not going to worry about too much regarding the loadouts, because I think they do help, don't get me wrong. But I think it will be, one, very, very tedious to keep changing the perks all the time regarding these videos. And 2, they're not, like, it's going to be super, super night and day the difference. I will make sure that they have, you know, appropriate skills for the tank. And then, you know, if you wanted to change them, then you could. We will take one here. That's absolutely fine, though. Hopefully our team can now push up. And we can maybe put one into this guy as well. He's not looking, so we'll just aim it, put one in. Damage-wise, what are we aiming for? I'm not really too sure, to be honest. Not really too sure off the top of my head. Probably around about 3.5, maybe 3k, 3.5 for this sort of tank. Tier 9. CS59 has come back to defend, which is both... Oh, sorry. I did not mean to do that. So yeah, 3k, 3.5. I mean, if it's going to be 3k to market, then, you know, add another 500 on top of it. And I feel like you've had a very, very decent game in that regard. I wanted to HE the WT, but I don't think that's going to be possible. What are you doing, sir? Hello. Lovely. Just make sure we try and conserve our hit points at the moment. The biggest downside to this tank is obviously the gun depression, but we also need to be aggressive enough. Okay, let's ignore him. We need to be... I think he's going to die before I can even get this shot off. Okay, one more in. That's good. Go back down behind this rock to hide from him. We're going to try and maximize the amount of damage that we can do here. While also still being healthy. I think we ignored the ST1 here. There's not a lot I can really do. I don't have the like amazing gun elevation, and the CS59 is still quite healthy. So, one into you as we're going up, and then we can keep going. Hopefully put one more into this. He's going to reverse and then take a load of damage as well. That's fine. We'll just utilize our hit points here. He's going to go and reverse into everyone else. Okay, that's fine. You know what? 3k. I mean, we get 3.5-ish combined. That's fine for a normal game. So yeah, not amazing, but not bad. 2.9. You know, that's the mark for the tank. So you'd be sitting even if you're at 95%, which we are. It's gone up a little bit from what we were averaging. But yeah, third on damage. We probably could have got maybe one more shot out if we were a little bit faster. But in a game like that, where the game lasts 4 minutes, and realistically our side was over within 2, that's not bad. Let's now switch it out to just firing nothing but the standard rounds, and then we're going to go ahead and put on automatic fire extinguisher, and we'll do the true peasant experience of World of Tanks. Okay, so what we're going to do, we need to go... I'm really debating going to the beach. No one's there to help me though. Okay, we're not going to go to the beach. I was going to say, if there's enough people going to the beach, then I'll go to the beach, but we'll go to the mid first, see what's going to happen, and then maybe we go to the beach. The thing is, with a tier 10 game and you don't have premium rounds, and there's a heavy tanks or mini heavy tanks, it's going to be literally, well, just, I do not know how to pen you kind of situation. Well, not even I don't know how to pen you, but I just cannot pen you. It's more the situation you'll encounter. I mean, 780, all of these I can pen the cupola if I get lucky, but... 263, what are you doing? I mean, the Type 61 is down here as well. But it might be worth to just drop down here. I mean, we trade 1 for 1. I roll higher than him. Oh my god, what are you doing, sir? Okay. I mean, I really didn't want to take the extra shot from the Type 61, but here we are. I'm still up on the trade, but it's really not a good trade. I also don't want to get shot by underneath the E100. Underneath the 60 TP, sorry. That's really bad. I think the biggest problem is that you can't frontally side scrape. You can reverse side scrape, but it's still not 100% reliable. I really want to take out this Type 61. If I can do that... I got baited by him so bad. If I can do that, then we're in a much better situation. Nice. Okay, that's really massive that he's been taken out of the game. I don't know who just shot. Whether it was the E100 or not. Nice. Just using our E100 as a way of us side scraping. Someone is using HE, which is an interesting maneuver from the enemy team. Or it's the Type 63 on. See, this is where you have the issues with the tank. I'm trying to put... Aha! Listen. There's a slight driving maneuver instance that has occurred. Just ignore that. Gun doesn't quite go where we wanted to do. The FE is over there, which I am worried about. He's just taken a lot of damage. I don't know whether or not that was from the FE or 2 tanks combined. Mr. Toro, do you have a shot? No, not currently. Most of the team is still alive. Over this side of the map. We need our people over the other side to try and push through. That's what would need to happen. We'll go back up and see whether or not we can shoot anyone over here. The beach is dead. Do they push the beach? Probably. We still have the T-57 and the E100, so we can just pull back to here. We can even go onto this ridgeline, and hopefully we can then deal with them. Hopefully this guy doesn't push too far. That wasn't quite good enough. Oh, I've made a grave mistake here. Please don't hit me. Thank you. Now, does the 140 push? He does. Oh, I can actually see through there. Gun is letting me down, though. Again, very difficult to side scrape in this vehicle, especially with the 140. I won't be able to really do much against him. We do put one in, but now I'm a one shot against him. I mean, we're both one shots, but he is in a much better position. Mainly because he just has a faster reload as well. But I might be able to reverse back up this and get behind this rock. And then from here, I should be able to help the E100 and friends. Although I don't know if they need help, to be honest with you. Now, interestingly enough, this ST1, if he comes up behind me, he'll get spotted by the AFK CS59 anyway. But what I will do is just get myself into a better position to try and deal with him if he does come up. Although everybody has pushed through now and we're in a position where it's not really very good. Because now the 140 can just push up. Although being low HP, I don't know if he'll do that. So from this position, I'm actually proxy spotting. Unless he goes all the way up and around, I'm pretty safe. So CS59 should be able to kill this guy. That guy is coming for me. One into you. We aim for his fuel tanks. Bad aim. Really bad aim. Yeah, I'm not going to get another shot in, I don't think. There we go. Let me one more shot in. That's not too bad. 3k still. That's still okay. I think we played that okay. A few misplays, but it was okay overall. So yeah, 3k. Not as much combined as the last game. Third on damage again. I mean, we misplayed a lot where we could have got shot at as we were crossing different things. And yeah, we probably should have died for that. But in the end, it worked out okay. Anyway, now for the ultimate kind of try-hard loadout. Well, you'll probably want something like this. And then you can just go and slap the heavy tanks. So we've got full premium consumables. We've got nothing but that. Obviously, if I was doing this in the future, everything would be bounty and then... yeah, sure, we'll even throw on that. To be fair, I think that I want a little bit less heat and a little bit more AP just for when we're shooting through walls and stuff like that. It's quite important. So something like that. Okay, so on Fjords, right-hand side, we are going to the heavy corner. There is a mouse on the enemy team, which is absolutely lovely when you have 340 heat. Especially if the mouse is an idiot. If the mouse isn't an idiot, then that can be a very big problem. But... most mouse drivers are not exactly amazing at the game. And then they wonder why the tank is bad, but, you know, besides the point. If you encountered a well-angled mouse, even 340 heat, you're not really penning it. So, yeah, right-hand side, we have our Badger. 705A is coming with us. He'll get there eventually. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so we have reached our destination. We shall now get ready. Hello, Fosh155. You are someone that I really don't want to play against if you have your... well, I mean, actually, I think you can overmatch my roof. Which I don't actually remember how... if this tank has the same... Jesus. What are these people I'm coming up against? I don't actually remember whether or not this has the massive roof overmatch. I think it does. I'll put a comment, like a note in the video with exactly how much it is, but... yeah. That definitely will be able to overmatch it. So, that's not really something I want to fight if I can prevent it. One into you, though. And there's a tortoise here as well. But what we're going to do is try and get... one more shot in. No pen. It's quite unfortunate. Do not get the shot on him, though. Again, we need to be very, very careful here because one shot from this guy and it could be all over for us. Especially if he just decides to hit my ammo rack. You know, half of our health or over half of our health will be gone in one shot from him. Pretty good rolls so far, though. Really nice rolls, actually, if you think about it. I'm not going to have a shot there. That's really... like, playing with death there. Do we have a shot for this side? Oh, I do actually have a shot here. If that guy goes forwards and then this tortoise stays here, I will actually have a shot. Very nice. Very, very nice. How's the Jagdpanzer looking? Middle of the map is losing, so I'm actually going to fall back and go to the middle. Try and help that out as best as I can. I'm not sure. Pretty sure the Batchat can clip me. Does he have higher clip potential than the tier 10? I'm not sure. Maybe he can't clip me. Either way, we're going for AP. The reason being is that that thing has no armor, and I really don't want to hit the tracks, and it just says track not penned, or something like that. But hopefully we reload in time, and this guy will die. Listen, I'm not very good at the game sometimes, okay? I aim like a bot, and then I miss out damage for it. Oh, I mean, not really too much I can really do this game, if we're being honest. Yeah. I mean, I think we played this pretty solidly, but unfortunately the game was just not it for us. Really just not it. I mean, we still get 3k out of this, but it definitely could have been more. We were a little bit scared of our hit points, but I think that's understandable considering that it's a Jagdpanzer 100, one shot, and we could just be absolutely demolished. So it wasn't worth to try and use our hit points to push through, especially if there was a mouse there on a Tortoise and a Jagdpanzer. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, in this type of game, I don't think there's too much more I can get out of it. We'll see if the T-30 is at the top of the hill to the left here, and then maybe we can get one more shot in, but probably not. I will push up the hill though, to try and get the other shot of damage, just to try and maximize as much as I can. Oh, he is at the top, but I don't have a shot. No shot. Unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, we're pretty consistent with 3k average, which is the mark for the tank. I don't think that... I mean, maybe we could have gone to the medium tank flank and got a little bit more out of it. Sure, the map wasn't the greatest for us with, the gun depression that we have. But, yeah, I think that the T-10 is just... It's a nice tank, but I think that a lot of people just don't play it well, or... the gun depression, I think, is the biggest factor for most people. 5 degrees on a lot of maps is just almost unplayable, especially if you're meant to be a hold-down heavy tank. It can kind of be very, very frustrating in that sense. If you played this more like a medium tank, then maybe you can get away with more, and maybe you can get a little bit more out of it. And obviously, better players can do average of like 4,000 or whatever they will do, right? I'm not the best of players. If I can play around about what the mark is, I'm pretty happy usually. But yeah, that's the T-10. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know your experience down below, and also what you think of this format. I'll see you all in the next one.